Larger why Weavia did gambit to Athena risk her misdirect divine Odin's gaze from the mask of the standing to realm between ally with realms Kratos, knowing his rage would consume kingdoms. Her patronage was a thread in a larger Weavia gambit to misdirect Odin's gaze from the mask of the realm between realms. Every battle, every whispered counsel, twisted Kratos into a shield against a war neither he nor Ares foresaw. A goddess twisted cunning when the god of Kratos into war a shield becomes against the upon war neither he nor Ares foresaw. The answer lies buried in blood and forgotten oaths. Her blade did not strike for justice. Athena guided Kratos to the mask of the realm between realms, not to crown a god but to chain a threat. Odin's eye, traded for Mimir's wisdom, saw too late. The Lake of Nine, his experiments, his hunger all shadows Athena turned against him. Ares fell, a king's blood spilled, while the true war unfolded unseen. What does a goddess sacrifice when the battlefield is time itself? Kratos the pawn never grasped the board, his vengeance was the distraction, her victory the silence of a realm's collapse averted. But gods do not play without cost, the price, a war's echo still bleeding through the Nine. The Lake of Nine held secrets even gods feared to drink. Athena saw Kratos not as a pawn but a wildfire. Her whispers guided his blade not to kill Ares, but to burn a path. Odin, ever the hungering void, had carved his eye into Mimir's well, chasing truths buried in the lake's black heart. He sought the mask of the realm between realms, a key to unraveling worlds. Athena knew his obsession would blind him to the storm he stood in. Kratos' rage, that theological constant, became her shield. Let him war with gods, let him bleed the earth. Odin would follow as he always did, drawn to conflict like a moth to the flame of knowledge. But while the All-Father dug for the mask, Athena wove a quieter trap. She fed Kratos' vengeance not to save Greece but to starve Odin of time. The goddess played with fire. And fire, as all gods know, does not forgive. The Edda's whisper of Odin's hunger, a king who traded an eye for Mimir's well. A god who hung on Yggdrasil, pierced by spear, to steal the runes. His hunger did not stop at blood or bone. In the Lake of Nine, he carved gates where none should be, peeling back the veil between realms. What he sought there no tongue dares name, but Athena saw the tremors. She watched as his experiments gnawed at the roots of the Nine realms, turning knowledge into kindling for collapse. She did not trust Kratos to win, not truly, but she trusted Odin less. The Spartan's rage was a storm she could steer. His vengeance, a blade turned inward. When she placed the mask of the realm between realms in his hands, she did not offer salvation. She offered a shadow, a distraction. Let him chase power, let him bleed the Aesir. Every clash, every war was an hourglass emptied into the void. Odin's research would not stop, not for mortals, not for gods. The Lake of Nine was a wound, a door, and Athena's gamble, that Kratos would be the scorch mark on its threshold. Did she think she could outrun the fire, or only delay its breath? The mask's secrets remain. But the price of delay is a debt paid in ash, and the Nine realms they burn slowly. What does a goddess sacrifice when the only shield is another's madness? The answer lies where the veil is thinnest, where Odin's eye once wept. The dead do not whisper without purpose. Athena's shade coiled around Kratos like a noose of light. She spoke of fate, of redemption, but her fingers traced a different script. A god's mercy is often a blade turned inward. Her guidance carved a path not to salvation, but to the mask of the realm between realms, hidden where Odin's hunger could not yet reach. Ghosts do not bargain with the living unless the stakes transcend death. Was her voice a guide or a chain? Each word she whispered to Kratos was a stone laid in a foundation he could not see. The mask, a relic of primordial wars, held secrets even Odin feared to unearth. By binding Kratos to its hunt, Athena turned his rage into a barrier, a firewall of blood. Yet gods are not so different from mortals when desperation curdles their wisdom. Did she believe she could control the beast she unleashed? Or did she know all along that Kratos' chaos would drown Odin's in its wake? The veil thins where shadows converge. Athena's gambit did not defeat the All-Father, it merely delayed the reckoning. A delay bought in coin of Kratos' suffering, Eris' ashes, and the silent screams of a goddess who learned too late that some games have no winners. The wind still carries her echo, but ghosts cannot stay when the board is reset. and the mask waits, beneath the veil. Beyond the eye that wept. She knew the weight of legacy, a sword passed through generations. To hold it is to bleed its edge. To break it is to drown in its shadow. Athena's hand on Kratos' blade was not mercy, it was a gambit. She had seen gods fracture under the same burden. Now she watched her champion become the anvil for another's forge. Odin's hunger was not for power, it was for the mask's secret door, a wound, a thread to unravel the tapestry. Kratos' rage had blinded him to the game above. Athena's whispers, her guidance, were hooks to drag him into it. She did not ask him to kill, she asked him to see to carry a lesson he could not yet name. The boy who would not be his father, the father who could not escape his, the cycle is not broken by strength. It is broken by knowing when to let go. She taught him to hold the mask of restraint. To wear it until the boy could choose his own. Did she win? The mask still waits, beneath the veil, beyond the eye that wept. But the board shifts, a god's hand, a father's hope. The pieces do not remember their purpose, only the players do, and Athena. She is gone, or waiting, or both. Athena's absence is a shadow with teeth. Her return a whisper in Kratos' blade defies the silence of her death. Did she foresee the Lake of Nine's secrets, or did she become their keeper? The mask of the realm between realms hung where no god should reach, yet there it lay, a lure in a game of mirrored lies. Odin's hunger for knowledge carved canyons in the 9 realms, but what if his gaze was turned away from the very thing he sought? Athena's alliance with Kratos was no act of faith. It was a gambit, a phantom hand moving pieces across a board only the dead could see. She guided him to the mask, yes, but at what cost? The weight of her choices presses into the cracks of time. Kratos' fury became her shield, his son's blood became her key. If Athena's foresight was a blade, it cut both ways. Did she trap Odin in his own obsession, or did she merely delay the storm? The lake's waters still, but stillness is a lie. Dread hums in the space between what is known and what is felt. The gods are gone, their shadows remain. And in that void, Athena's move was never about Kratos. It was about the war that never ends. The question is not if she lost. It is who she sacrificed to win. The answer lies in the shadows of her gambit. Athena did not choose Kratos for his rage, she chose him for his reach. By threading his vengeance toward Ares, she carved a new Goda weapon to blind Odin's gaze. What if his blade was never his own? Each strike a counterweight to a war waged in silence. The god of war rose as a shadow over Asgard's edge, while Odin, fixated on Kratos' ascent, turned blind to the mask's whisper in his own domain. She let the Spartan bleed for Olympus, knowing Ares' death would crown a rival too loud to ignore. Ares' blood was the bait. Kratos triumphed the smoke screen. The mask of the realm between realms lay untouched, its secrets buried beneath the noise of a war neither man understood. Athena's patronage was a thread in a loom far older than Greek or Norse. She sacrificed Ares' throne, yes, but also Kratos' free will. And perhaps in the end his purpose. The realms shifted, the Lake of Nine remained still. Odin's hunger turned outward as she knew it would. The cost a god's life, a warrior's soul, but gods are chessmen, and the board never sleeps. How many more pawns must fall before the end game reveals its face? The cost of a king's gambit is always measured in pawns. Athena's blade did not strike for justice. It struck to bury a truth too vast for gods or men. Odin's hunger for the mask of the realm between realms was not a threat, it was an inevitability. A hunger that gnaws through ages, blind to consequence. What does a goddess do when the world's end is written in a scholar's notes? She becomes the thief of her own legend. Her alliance with Kratos was no mercy. It was a shroud draped over a deeper wound. By turning Ares to dust, she silenced a brother's rage but amplified a father's. The mask remained hidden, yes, but at what price? Generations of blood now stain the same soil. Kratos fights to break cycles. Athena built them. How cruel that the warrior's path and the goddess became twin spirals, grinding hope to ash. Odin would have unraveled the veil. Of this she was certain, his pursuit was not knowledge, it was possession, a hunger that sees sacrifice as currency. So she chose the lesser ruin. Let a god fall, let a mortal bear the weight of betrayal. Let the lie of victory echo through time. Does the mask still wait untouched, or has its shadow merely shifted hands? The board turns. New kings rise, but the pieces remember. And the weight of every move presses heavier on the ones who must live beneath the chessboard where the only checkmate is silence. Athena did not bargain with Kratos to save Greece. She bartered with chaos to blind Odin. Every strike against Ares was a shadow play her hand, hidden in his rage. The mask of the realm between realms lay untouched, its secrets buried beneath blood and broken oaths. Did she see Ragnarok storm in the cracks of Faye's foresight, or was her gambit just another thread in a tapestry she could not unravel? The gods remember, the masks remember. But the weight of every move presses heavier on those who must live beneath the chessboard where the only checkmate is silence. What did you miss? What if the mask of the realm between realms was the prize Athena hid in plain sight, a gambit masked as mercy? A distraction woven through Kratos' blade. Greek saga, 3 whispers of Olympus fall, but what fell first? The veil. The war between gods and frost was never just stone and steel. What did Athena sacrifice to keep Odin blind to the threshold